guys, welcome back to my channel, and thank you guys so much for stopping about me today. In this video, we're gonna be doing something warm and cozy and pumpkin spicy burnt orange kind of makeup look. And what I'm doing is I'm cleaning up the bottom part of my brow, and I'm also using the same concealer to spread it all over the eyelid as an eyeshadow base. This is an oldie but goodie concealer, which is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer shade NC45. I used to be in love with this concealer and then I stopped, but now I'm kind of slowly getting back to it because it's not as yellow as a lot of concealer that I use. Now I'm gonna set the crease area of this. I'm going to set the crease area using the shade Rush out of the Jacqueline L Ring the Alarm palette. It's a very soft orangey undertone shadow, and then I'm going to go into this Urban Decay palette and take that really pigmented bright orange out of it, and I'm going to use this in the crease. I'm going to bring it a little bit high up towards the brow as I get towards the inner corner of my eye. So I'm just going to build up this orange. I think I dipped in the shadow about twice, and this is how much pigmentation payoff I got from just dipping this brush in twice. This shadow is very pigmented, very smooth, easy to blend. I really love Urban Decay shadows. They are extremely high quality and I love that about them. Now I'm going to go back in the Jacqueline Hill palette and I'm going to take the color Secret, which is like a brown, and I'm going to place this on the end part of my eyelid and then just blend it halfway inwards. I'm not going to completely take this color all the way in the inner corner in the crease. I'm just going to keep it, as I said, halfway or like 3/4 ways. This shadow, however, was skipping a bit. It wasn't blending as smooth as I would like it to. It was kind of just going on a little bit patchy over the other shadow. So I was just trying to blend as lightly as possible. I wasn't pressing on the brush too hard, so that it will even make it skip even more. It was just trying to use very light pressure and just blend. And then I went ahead and I took this deep plum shade from the palette, which is called Framed, and instead of like going back and forth, I started to pat the shadow on first and then ever so lightly just blend it in with that brown shade right over it, and it did work. It did look better. And then what I did was take a very clean brush with no shadow on it and just use it to like blend out the edges so that everything is nice and seamless. Now I'm going to take the same concealer, which is the Pro Longwear concealer, and I'm going to use this right over the eyelid. I'm not really going to cut the crease. I'm just going to clean up that area for the next shadow that we're going to apply. And then I'm going to use the brush that I used to blend out the concealer when we first applied it under the brows and on the eyelid, and just smooth out that area so it doesn't really look like a cut, like a really defined cut crease. Okay, then I'm going to go back with some of the color Framed on the brush and just blend out the edges where the concealer stopped right there, and also just smooth it out so that, as I said, it's not like a really cut. Okay, and then I go back with the concealer brush and just pat and blend so that everything is like really seamless. Then I'm going to take this color Mugshot, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette, by the way. It's such a unique color, and I'm going to place this all over the eyelid, all over that area where we concealed, and just blend it in very nice and smoothly. This color, however, worked. It didn't look as, you know, patchy as the brown was looking. And then I brightened it up a little bit and I put the color Rush over it, which is more of like a pale orange color. However, I did notice that throughout the day, this color on the lid tint, it faded a little bit. Like, it didn't look as vibrant and as pigmented as it looked when I just applied it. I don't know if it's as the concealer dry, it gets darker. But yeah, that was just something that I noticed. It's not only with this matte. I noticed with most mattes, maybe it's the concealer. Yeah. And then I took the orange that we used in the crease and just put a little bit right in the middle between the dark color and the color that we placed on the lid. And then I'm going to take this eyeliner from MAC. Oh my god, what's the name? I'm going to leave the name on the screen, but it is a wine color liquid eyeliner. And I'm going to use this to line my top lash line. I'm not going to get really close to the lash band. I'm not going to get too close to my lashes, because I'm then going to go in with a black really close to my lashes, just to disguise and camouflage that area when I apply my falsies. Okay, so then I'm going to just apply a coat of mascara onto my real lashes. And then these are the lashes that I will be using. They're a little bit more dramatic than I would have done, but because I didn't like the way the shadow blended so well, I tried to use some lashes that was a little bit more overpowering. Then I'm going to start with my skin. I'm going to take my Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. I'm going to place this in my T-zone and just pat it in. My skin was previously moisturized. I used moisturizing serum, and then I just mattify the T-zone. Now for foundation, I'll be taking my drugstore winter favorite foundation, which is my Maybelline Liquid Mousse foundation in the shade Cocoa 130. Yeah, I know it's Cocoa. I'm not sure of the number. And I'm gonna use this just all over my face. Yes, it looks a little bit darker than my actual face color, but if you look at my body is like darker than my face. So I have to go dark on my foundation, and then I'll just brighten back my under eye. Okay, and always remember that there's a whole bunch of lights on me, so this foundation is actually darker than it's looking right here. Okay, now after blending this out, I blend this all over my face, a little bit on my ears. Don't forget your jawline. You don't want to look like you're wearing a mask. I'm also using the beauty blender just to clean up the edges of the eyeshadow right there, and then I don't want it to be any like harsh lines, so I'm just gonna take back the blending brush and just ever so lightly just diffuse these areas so it's nice and blended. Then I'm gonna use the same concealer, which is the MAC Pro Wear Concealer. I'm gonna place this under my eye, the bridge of my nose, a little bit in the center of my forehead, and a little bit on my cupid's bow, and then whatever is left on the sponge, I use it to blend on my chin area. Okay, now when I do that, I then put on my lashes, which I had the glue on it and I left the glue to get tacky. Now I'm leaving the concealer to get a little bit tacky while I apply the lashes. We got to use our time wisely, honey. So we're going, one is getting tacky, the other one is being applied, and the other one is getting tacky. Okay, now I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm going to blend this concealer out. Yes, it does look a little bit brighter, but with this Pro Wear concealer, it tends to oxidize a little bit. And as I said, I went back to this concealer because it's not as yellow as the other concealers I was using. So when I applied the Laura powder on top of it, it just looked a little bit more neutral other than overly yellow or orange like some of the other concealers I was using. Okay, so I'm just gonna blend out all this area, and then as I said, whatever is left on the sponge, I just take it over my chin area and I just blend the edges, make sure everything is diffused, and then I take out that small brush that we used to blend the concealer in the beginning just to blend out all these other edges so that everywhere is nice and blended. Now I'm going to take my Laura Mercier Air Translucent Powder in the shade Medium Deep, of course, and I'm going to set this under my eye. Everywhere we place concealer, I will be applying this powder. I'm not going to bake. And I'm also going to take this all over my face. I've seen Alyssa Ashley did this in her Flawless Foundation routine, and I'm like, oh, this looks really good. And because I use such a dewy foundation, it helps to keep my face a little more matte but not drying like a liquid matte foundation would. So I really like this step for that purpose. And then I'm going to take my L'Oreal True Match powder in the shade C8 just to apply over all the other areas. And yep, then I'm going to go in with contouring, and I'm going to use my MAC Film Noir blush first. Just take this under my cheekbones, my forehead, the sides of my nose, all the area where we contour. And then I'm also going to go back with a second powder over this just to deepen it up. You don't have to. This is just extra steps that I like. I like the undertone of Film Noir and NW58 mixed together. Like, it gives me enough depth without looking too cool or too red or too dirty. You know what I mean? Okay. Not everyone needs to take their contour along their jawline, but I need to because of the fact that I know I keep saying this all the time. My neck is a lot darker than the rest of my body, so I tend to do this just to make my neck blend a little bit better and transition better with my face. Okay, then I'm going to go into my two favorites, which are the MAC in Extreme Dimension blushes in Hard to Get and Telling Glow. I apply Hard to Get from the apple of my cheek area right back into the contour, and then I apply Telling Glow, which is the lighter color, just on the high points of my cheeks, also the bridge of my nose, a little bit above my the arch of my brow, and then on my cupid's bow. Now I'm just gonna squeeze these lashes together while my falsies and my relashes, I'm gonna squeeze them together while I think it's now dry, and then just to disguise the glue, because it's white glue, it never really dries invisible clear, I'm going to take back the same black liner and just go over the lash band. Okay, now for eyeliner, I'm going to take this MAC Prolong Wear lip liner in the shade Voltage. Their Prolong Wear line is a little bit softer and creamier, so I use this to line my waterline. Now I'm not going to suggest doing this. I've had instances before where I used lip liners on my eyes and it irritated my eyes, so please be cautious and do this at your own risk, or try to find an orange pencil. And my camera had stopped recording, so what I did after I applied that darker color under my lash line, which is framed, I then went ahead and took the orange and just buff it out underneath. And then now I'm highlighting the inner corner of my eye using that more green gold in the Urban Decay palette. Then I'm moving on to lips. Now for lips, I'm using MAC Chestnut lip liner to line my lips, and when I line my lips with this lip liner, also bring it in a little bit on my lips just to blend it and help the lipstick to transition better. Then I'm going to take a MAC eyeliner in the shade Coffee, and I'm going to use this to outline my lips. Now, this part I have no problem using eyeliners on my lips. I mean, it never irritates me, always works fine. Now, what I'm doing is just taking this eyeliner on the most outer part of my lip, just to transition it better, because I'm going for a really nice ombre lip and I wanted a lip liner a little bit deeper. Okay, now after doing that, what I'm going to do is take my Smashbox liquid lipstick in the shade, oh my god, Out Loud? I think that's the name, Out Loud, yeah. This is one of my favorite color, orange, and I really love oranges, y'all. I love warm tones, peachy nudes, all of that kind of stuff. I really love that. This color is so pretty, and the lipstick itself is so comfortable. They really have one of my favorite formula of liquid lipstick. I wore it for about 6 hours before I ever had to do anything to it, and before I started to like feel it on my lips. Okay, now I'm just setting my brows, and then I'm gonna set my entire face and just help all of those powders to melt in using the Morphe Air Mist Spray. I think that's what it's called. This is the finished look. I hope you guys love this as much as I do. I turn out loving all these colors. It turned out so pretty, so much better than I thought it would. But don't forget to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, on to the next one. Bye guys.